The investment is made possible with support from Everett Cash Mutual Insurance Company, a committed insurance company serving the agricultural community for over 100 years. NPC, Integrated Print and Digital Solutions, creating career opportunities and supporting the community in central Pennsylvania since 1954. Penn State Executive Programs, partnering with multinational corporations, government, and nonprofit organizations to develop leaders and shape strategies for business results. Information at smeal.psu.edu. The Chamber of Business and Industry of Center County, CBICC, working collectively and collaboratively with public and private sector investors to create and grow entrepreneurship and enhance the local economy. And from viewers like you, thank you.
Investment breeds innovation, and an innovative idea can change the world. The Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development is committed to engaging with young entrepreneurs, and through IncU, will give $30,000 to student-owned companies. Teams from Bucknell, Penn State, and the University of Pittsburgh at Johnstown will compete to impress a panel of judges with their unique ideas. Each team will have a chance to pitch the panel and see if they can stand up to the judges' scrutiny. The team or teams with the strongest ideas and best pitches will leave with the seed money necessary to jumpstart their companies. The competition will be intense, and the money will be given only to the most innovative ideas. The judges are waiting, the teams are ready. This is The Investment. Our judges come from all corners of the business and entrepreneurial world. Bruce Shook is president and CEO of Intact Vascular, a medical device company. Dean Klein is general partner and managing director at Penn Ventures Partners, a venture capital fund. John Polacek is COO of JWF Defense Systems and JWF Industries, a metal fabrication and processing manufacturer. Aaron Jablonski is co-founder of Entremetric, which provides a tool to measure the entrepreneurial mindset. Those are our judges. Now it's time for our teams to impress them. Our first team is from the University of Pittsburgh at Johnstown.
My name is Dustin Hollenbeck. I'm studying mechanical engineering.
My name is Luke Schroyer, and I'm a mechanical engineering technology student here at Pitt Johnstown. Well, the reason we got into this project was because we were sitting in a design class last semester, and we had to pick a project. So this was just for a class originally, and our professor loved it. So we ran with that idea.
The purpose of the product is motorcycle safety. Both of my parents were in a really serious motorcycle accident. You know, it's something that happens every day. We really need like a dust. That's a big issue for me because that hits really close to home. And that's kind of what you want to do with engineering. You kind of want to adapt it to what you really enjoy. I think this is just what it's going to sit on.
I love it. I came to school to be an engineer. I didn't have any idea of being an entrepreneur or owning a business. And that's why it's so exciting, because you don't know where you're going to end up.
I thought I was going to be a regular Joe engineer, 9 to 5 every day. I always had the dream that this would happen, and I'm really happy that it has.
What size of a chip are you figuring you're going to need?
I would love one day to hear about someone who has, used our product and said that saved my life that day. And, to get that type of feedback would be everything for me.
That would be the greatest feeling that I've ever experienced, knowing that you did something that made a difference.
Hello everyone, my name is Dustin Hollenbeck, and in 1988, both of my parents were in a motorcycle accident involving a passenger vehicle and a driver who was not paying attention. Today, I'm here representing BrakeSafe, and we make brake lights with a brain. Last year alone, there was over 2,500 motorcycle accident fatalities involving a passenger vehicle and a driver who was not paying attention or simply could not see them. So, what can we do about this? Well, first, let's take a look at cars. The first year that the third brake light was introduced in cars, it reduced rear-end accidents by 8.6% alone. So, how do we adapt this to motorcycles? BrakeSafe has designed a braking system that connects to the back of a motorcycle helmet and works autonomously. This does two things for us. One, ease of use. You simply take the product out of the package, connect it to the back of your helmet, and go on your way. You don't have to worry about connecting to the electronic system or the braking system inside the motorcycle. And two, because it works off sensors inside the helmet, the second that you start your deceleration, before you even grab your brake lever, it turns on and stays on until you decide to start going again. So there's over 8 million registered motorcycles in the United States today. Of that 8 million, roughly 18% of that is touring motorcycles. And of that 18%, there's roughly 640,000 registered Goldwings in the United States. We decided to make this our beachhead market due to their cult-like following and the maturity of these riders. But because the unit works autonomously, it makes it usable for pretty much any activity that involves deceleration, such as cycling, ATVs, snowmobiling, really anything that you may want to warn people that you want to be slowing down. And again, because it works autonomously, it can be mounted any different way. Eventually, we want to become the GoPro of brake lights, where this can be attached to any activity, such as a backpack, a jacket, and can be used for anything that the customer wants. Today, we're asking for $20,000, and this investment will be going towards the patenting and finalizing of our algorithm, as well as a small production run to make sure that this is exactly what our customers want. So if we take a look at that 8.6% statistic that we looked at earlier and adapt it to the motorcycle, BrakeSafe has a potential to save 220 lives in its first year alone. But not only is that 220 lives, that's 220 coworkers, friends, and families that get to have their loved ones go home at night after a day's ride. So what is that worth to you? Thank you.
Interesting product you have. I think the first question I'd ask of you is, many states don't even have helmet laws. So when you factor in the fact that a lot of people, especially in this region of Pennsylvania, don't even wear motorcycle helmets, are you concerned that you may be packaging the stoplight for the wrong product? And maybe it should be something that's portable that could be worn on a helmet or on the jacket? Have you given that consideration?
Yes, sir, we have. We plan on extending as soon as possible. We wanted to start with the helmet because not only will it work for that, and it's very easy to attach, but it will also kind of have people want to wear their helmet. You know, they'll want to show off the technology that they have.
Okay, follow-up question. The helmets are regulated by a Department of Transportation. By affixing your product to that helmet, does it need to go through specific DOT testing to make sure that the helmet is still safe to that standard, whether it affixes permanently or not?
As long as there is no removal of any of the coating on the outside of the helmet and we're not covering up any DOT standard stickers, it's completely okay to do that.
Okay.
As far as this is concerned, you mentioned $30 for the part? For the product?
Our retail sale is going to be $70
$70
for the unit.
Okay.
For a 1,000 product run, it's going to cost roughly $16 to $18 per unit to manufacture.
Can we talk about intellectual property a little bit? Curious, I assume that the IP landscape here is probably pretty crowded, right? Lots of large companies have been operating in this space a long time. Have you done any sort of freedom to operate analysis to figure out whether you can do this and protect it?
Yeah, we're currently working with a few different IP attorneys just to make sure that we're not going down a road that we're going to get ourselves into trouble. The largest thing that we have right now is our algorithm, the way that it turns on. Currently, there's no one in the market that uses 3 axes to measure deceleration. So whenever you're going around a bend, it will still turn on. Whenever you're at a stop, it will stay turned on. There's no one else that's actually doing that at the moment, and we're working on our provisional as we speak.
Question about battery life. How long will that last, that small unit?
The unit is going to run on 1,100 milliamp lithium-ion battery, pretty much what you find in a standard cell phone. Because we're really only looking to power 8 to 10 LEDs, we're looking at a run time of at least 8 hours, which for any long day of riding, it's lit up for 8 hours. So it will run for the average rider about a week, and it's a simple USB charging system.
Tell us a little bit about how you're going to create jobs in Pennsylvania. You can start by telling us where you're going to make this.
Well, we plan on kind of staying in-house for sure. Johnstown, where we're from, has been a huge part of this becoming a product. It's actually the only reason why I'm standing here today. As far as why we'll stay, we're comfortable here. We know the markets, we're familiar with the motorcyclists here, we know what they want. Why go anywhere else?
Have you done any beta testing at all?
No. That is next on our list, and that's why we really need the funding, is to get this out to the people and test it and make sure that it's exactly what they want.
Great. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Nicely done. He had more answers than I expected him to have.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I like the way they likened it to the number of accidents that were prevented when they put the third light on the vehicles too.
It's always hard to read the judges, but I felt pretty good about it. I felt as though they were genuinely interested in what I had and liked it.
I didn't think of the fact that it might actually become sort of hip or whatever to have something like that.
Yeah.
Our second team is from Penn State.
My name is Matthew Rhoda. I'm a chemical engineer from Penn State. There's a number of different concussion tests, but what our device does is it adds in a movement to it, where you're not sitting at a computer filling out a form or anything like that, or hitting keys. It's a series of lights that go on in a random order, and the user sits there and he touches them as fast as they can as they come on. And what this is doing is actually measuring a person's reaction time. I actually had a concussion myself, my junior year of high school, and it was a very severe concussion, and I went through the whole process of diagnosis and recovery and things like that. And so I have a personal attachment to it for that reason. But also, not only that, me and my teammates, we believe that this is a legitimate device, that this has potential to be in thousands of schools across the country and be the standard for concussion testing. So we are very passionate about what we're doing because we believe it will actually help the world. This money is really what we need to take this device to the next level. Without it, we're kind of approaching our limit of what we're able to do, both on a limited budget and also just in our ability to keep this moving with what we can.
My name is Matthew Rhoda, an executive member of Reflection Interactive Technologies. And by the time I finish this presentation, 8 people will have gotten a concussion. That means over 3 million people every year will experience headaches, trouble concentrating, blurred vision, amnesia, and other symptoms, all from a blow to the head. And despite the fact that a large number of these traumatic brain injuries occur in sports, the concussion test available to high schools and athletic clubs is out of date and cheatable. But there is a solution. Research has begun to show a correlation between concussions and reaction time. And because of this, my team and I have built a device that measures a person's reflexes. What happens is a series of random lights go on and the user touches them as fast as they can. Sort of like so. Except it would be in a random order. And what this simple test is actually doing is testing impulse control, visual processing, concentration under fatigue, hand-eye coordination, depth perception, and more, all of which have shown a correlation to concussions. Now, because our device is patent pending, the next step is to take this to Hershey Medical Center, where we will begin clinical trials in approximately 2 months. With clinical validation, we will then begin field testing of student athletes where we can both improve our device and our concussion management protocol and procedures. But these things cost money. So today we're asking for $10,500 in funds. What this is going to go to is $7,000 will be for research and development to ruggedize our board and make it more portable and also user-friendly. $2,500 is going to go to manufacturing an initial line of products that we can implement into schools and medical centers. And then $1,000 will go to costs associated with a non-provisional patent. With funding, we can begin to market to the 26,000 public high schools in the country, many of whom already have a budget for concussion testing. So $10,500 can help us begin our journey to protect the 3 million people who will get a concussion in 2015. And so we ask for your help to let Reflection Interactive Technologies help change the world and protect the next generation of athletes. Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew. First of all, congratulations on working on an important problem. It's great to see. I'm interested in what your value proposition is versus what's done today. So if I'm, the buyer, the person who leads the athletic department at Penn State or some other institution, what's your pitch to me to adopt this technology at, I assume, added cost versus what I'm doing today?
Right now, the current concussion tests that a lot of these high schools are using, or just even universities, they're not quite as effective as what doctors and physicians thought they originally were. A lot of it is, it's sitting at a computer, and these tests, they'll take 40 minutes long. And they're only done once as a baseline. And then if you are suspected of having a concussion, you take it again and compare it to the one baseline you took. But with my device, it's a lot different in the sense where it's, well, one, it's a 20 to 25 second test, where it's just a couple of random lights go on and you touch it as fast as possible. And it's also meant to be done over time, so you actually take multiple baselines. And so that way you will see a dramatic and significant decrease if you actually do have a concussion.
So more accurate and faster.
Yes.
Matthew, I like your focus on getting this to a product that's more ruggedized and portable. Can you tell us a bit more about that? What might this look like when you get to that point?
So it's important to know that the size of it will stay the same. That we have this like very large board because it fills the user's field of view, and it actually requires them to move and not just kind of sit there and like hit a key on a computer. So it will stay the same, but like right now it's heavy. It's not quite as like durable as we want it to be, and just making it like a more solid device that we can give it to a buyer and say this will last you 10 years.
Why not go with a leasing model if you already know that you're going to be coming out with better versions in the early years? Why wouldn't you, have it on a lease model for your first early adopters and then allow them to get your second version as soon as it's available?
Our goal is to actually make like a solid device that's not really going to be updated almost like every year. So like it's meant to be like a device that's simple and like portable and really useful, that it's really the one that we make is going to probably be like what it's going to be like.
So in a football game, Penn State's playing somebody, player gets hit, can you do a diagnostic test instantaneously so that they get back in the game if they don't have a concussion?
So that's actually what there's a huge need for right now in the medical world, as you might know. And that's actually something we're going to be doing a lot of research in when we do these clinical trials at Hershey Medical Center, because that's what we're really hoping for and really hoping we can learn a lot more about as to whether or not this can be a day one concussion test. As someone gets hit, comes off the field, takes it, and yes, they have a concussion, no, they don't have a concussion.
And do you have any clinical data sitting here today that compares the accuracy of what you've described with the conventional method?
With my device, no. But there's been devices similar, and also research articles that have come, like out of the University of Cincinnati is a big one, and a couple others that have actually published articles in different scientific journals about this correlation between concussions and reaction time.
Thanks, great work.
Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
I think the biggest risk associated with this particular venture is, does it actually work better than what they do today? And they're just going to have to do the experiment to find that out.
I think it went well. It was tough. I thought the judges were they kind of drilled you with questions, but I mean overall I think it did. It was a positive presentation.
I think the other thing you got to worry about too is you get some football player who just found out they got a concussion. He punches the thing because he's upset. He takes it out. I mean, when he talks about ruggedizing this, I think you really got to ruggedize this thing. I think you have a point. You know?
Our third team is from Bucknell.
My name is Emily, and I'm a Markets, Innovation, and Design major at Bucknell University. I'm really interested in graphic design. I think I've had a passion for it since I was really young. Youthscape Apparel is a spirit wear company, so we make university t-shirts for over 60 universities in the country. We realized that there was a huge opportunity to kind of break into that industry and make something different, make something that fans, alumni, and students can really connect with. People are demanding something that's custom, demanding something that is different, and that's what we provide, is fashion-forward apparel that college students want to wear.
And they're literally in the mountains this weekend, so they took the pictures, Okay, and then also, I guess we can go over.
It started with my brother and I, who graduated in 2014.
Yeah, I think it's okay, especially because we have a lot of tech stuff.
The two of us work really well together. We're a really good pair, and it started as being something fun. If we're awarded the money, I think we definitely want to sort of invest it in expanding the current customer base that we have.
This is a new product, obviously it hasn't been in here before.
And so we definitely would take the money and invest that into creating some sort of e-commerce platform. I hope that when people wear our shirts, they sort of feel those emotions that they have about college and toward their school, and that they feel prideful wearing it. That's what I hope the end goal is. Hi, I'm Emily Allen, and this is my brother Alex, and we are the owners of Uscape Apparel. And our motto is, Rep Your Skyline. So to start off, let's imagine that you're a high school senior, and you just got admitted into your dream school. The first thing you do is go online to order a shirt that shows off your recent acceptance. But as you browse your school bookstore's website, you begin to notice that all the shirts look the same, and you end up settling for something that looks like this. That's where we come in. Uscape Apparel is a spirit wear company who is challenging the industry standards when it comes to college and prep school wear. We aim to evoke the pride that students, fans, and alumni feel for their school by showcasing the silhouettes of iconic campus buildings in front of a skyline of cascading school colors. Because of the quality and the emotions that are attached to our designs, our garments quickly become favorites for our customers.
Uscape Apparel is currently in our second year of sales. We've secured 49 unique licenses and have 75 wholesale customers at universities across the country, including Michigan State University, Cornell University, Colorado Boulder, and of course, Bucknell University, where this all began. Even though we've gained a lot of traction in the industry in a short period of time, we still have a lot of work to do in order to reach our goal of being able to sell to millions of consumers across the country. Our goal for Uscape is to build a national collegiate apparel brand that will compete with some of the major players in the market today. We're here asking for $15,000 in order to help us accomplish three main things. First, we're going to use the money to build a strong e-commerce platform so that we can reach more consumers. We currently only sell directly to university bookstores. Second, we're going to use the money to spread products into new offerings like this quarter zip and these unique designs, which we think will sell great with our customers by expanding our design team and our customer service team. And third, it's going to help us have some financial stability as we are still very much a young startup. To give you a little bit of history on our sales, in 2014, which was our first year of sales, we did $120,000. In 2016, we expect to do over $800,000 in sales. We greatly appreciate the opportunity to be here. Thanks for your time. We've got some samples in front of you. We'd love if you took a look at those, and we welcome your questions.
Thank you very much, and well done.
Thank you.
So I can see how you're very good at design. What I imagine you're not very good at is production, warehousing, things of that nature. So how do you do that now, and how are you thinking about doing that going forward?
Yeah, sure. So one of the unique things about kind of our business model from day one was that it was self-funded. So we obviously had to put some money in to incorporate and found the business and do all the legal important stuff. But from day one, we would take an order. We would order the shirts. We'd send them to our screen printers. We've got 3 printers across the country, and then they would drop ship right to the customer. So really, we have a 15-day period of working capital where we've got a big cash need. But other than that, we've been profitable, honestly, from the very beginning because we've had a clear strategy.
What's your average profit per item?
So we make about 50% of the long sleeves is our most profitable product, but gross margins are 45% across the whole business.
And that's wholesale.
So you did $800K last year.
No,
this year.
We're going to do about $405,000 this year, and next year
$800K.
we expect to do $800K.
So you're going to net gross $400. So why do you need the money?
So this year we'll do $60,000 in net. Of that, the important thing to understand with collegiate apparel is that it costs a lot of money to get a license. So just to give you an example, we signed University of Washington, Boulder, Michigan State, and a couple really big schools in the past couple months. Those schools all have advances where you pay them the royalties up front. So that's anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 plus your design time. So even though we're making money, we put a lot of money back into the business, and it's tied up until we have a full year of sales to kind of recoup that royalty.
Last quick question. What keeps me from going out and copying what you do?
Sure.
Yeah, definitely. So we have an individual copyright on the existing designs that we already have. And then also, as we mentioned, it's pretty difficult to obtain these college licenses. And so our designs are trademarked, and we are also already in these bookstores. We're protected by the school. We use their school name, school buildings, school colors, and we bring incremental sales into the bookstores. So it's highly unlikely that someone could kind of just come along and take our product out and put new product in.
I have 2 quick questions. First question is, did you know I went to Columbia? Is that why I got this?
Yeah.
I am impressed. You did your homework. The second question I had was, how does this create jobs in Pennsylvania?
The thing that we've been really proud of from day one is that last year we had 3 Bucknell students who were employees. We have graphic designers who work with us, who do the designs. We have students at Bucknell right now that are helping us create these designs. The person that did the social media for us last year was a Bucknell grad. And we're going to continue to offer opportunities for students to work with us throughout their college career. We'd love to work with schools like Penn State and some of the other areas in PA. And then the second really important thing to understand is that our biggest printer is in Mifflinburg, Pennsylvania. And I went to them one day and said, hey, I think I might have 15 schools for you at some point. They're printing 30 schools for us today. They're pretty much capped out on capacity. And we've been actively talking to the owner about them adding a second printer at that facility and hiring 2 new people to run that printer. So we feel like we really do contribute to the Pennsylvania economy.
How do you give back to the communities in which you work? This is one of the things in your highlights.
Yeah, definitely. I love to talk about this. So we have made 3 donations so far. 2 were to homeless shelters, 1 close by in Union County. And then also we made a donation, 200 shirts to a Miami alumni who works at a low-income school where they encourage students to have college aspirations. And so we gave them 200 Miami t-shirts, and they've given them to the kids that live there sort of as like a reward system, so they can bring like points in and they can retrieve a shirt.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That's far more sophisticated than I thought it was going to be.
That's a real business.
That's a real business. 800 grand in business, 50% gross margin.
My biggest worry was it can't be protected, but it sounds
that
like
was mine
there's
too.
a reasonable level of sort of moat around the thing.
Maybe the toughest question was about how we're going to keep jobs in Pennsylvania, but we obviously do currently have jobs that are in Pennsylvania, and we were pretty prepared for that question.
But I like the scape, the way the whole thing sets up. So, and the quality is nice too.
The quality is nice.
Our 4th team is from the University of Pittsburgh at Johnstown.
Troy Shaw, University of Pittsburgh at Johnstown, concentration in marketing.
I'm through Colvin, University of Pittsburgh at Johnstown, computer science.
It started here in the Idea Lab, and we're really revolutionizing the way patients grow their own medicine. And how it came about is some of our friends or the people we were closest with have certain disorders, and we knew specific patients that had epilepsy, pain, severe pain, post-traumatic stress, and it just really came from the idea of helping people, and that's what we're really aiming to do.
And then would you get a logo?
Yeah, we're gonna have our logo on.
I hope that we'll be able to get patients their medicine. They'll be able to know what they're putting in their medicine, know what medicine they're getting. It's a whole different idea for how people get their medicine.
How many pots can go in here?
It's been amazing. It's been so exciting because it seems like every few months we just have another big leap in like advancement. It's just great to see like us being able to make something that's truly like amazing.
And aggressive plants use about 5 gallons. It is a growing industry, and it's in the growth stage of its development.
So
It is making a difference, especially in the communities or with the people that do have serious problems. When we develop a system that caters to their symptoms and conditions, we feel we can make a difference.
That's the main goal. It's making sure that people's lives are better, so the second we get it out to someone's hands, it's going to be better.
Hello everybody, I'm Troy.
I'm Drew.
And we are Healthponics. Today's medical marijuana patients have the opportunity to grow their own medicine, which is a cheaper alternative to delivery services and dispensaries, as currently patients are paying $70 a week and up to $3,200 a year on bills. Unfortunately, as patients soon grow, they soon realize how difficult it is to grow. They need to know what nutrients to use, what lights to use, what grow medium to use, whether to use hydroponics and aquaponics, and how to maintain your aggressive plant through all 3 stages of plant growth. With Healthponic technology, we're allowing patients to interact with their medicine like never before. Our grow system allows you to monitor your water levels, pH, nutrients, lighting, and other key elements required for optimal plant growth. No longer will you have to rely on Joe Smo from your unreliable forum as we introduce our Healthponics Smart Garden. The medical and recreational marijuana industry is expected to increase to $7 billion by 2020. Currently, no company occupies more than 1% of the market share. As an online retailer, we will be selling directly to our consumers. Our beachhead market is currently in California, as there are 500,000 patients there. On average, their age is 47 years old and 54% male. Our recurring revenue will be based off our nutrient cubes, our lighting, and also our sensors that will go with our durable system. Our main competitor is Leaf, as they are said to release their automatic system next year, priced at $1,500. Our business model is to create a positive psychological buying experience, as we will be pricing our consumables at 1 to 5% of what our initial system is going to be. As far as how we stand out, our nutrients will be easily replaceable from the front and making it more convenient than ever before. They will also be color-coded for the first, second, and third stages of plant growth as we are developing a complete nutrient set. We are looking for a $20,000 investment in order to continue our prototyping, in order to continue our vision to help the 1.1 million medical marijuana patients that suffer from chronic illness. Thank you.
I have several questions about your product. So the first would be, why not business to business? So why wouldn't you sell to people who are already growing and distributing?
Well, for example, like I talked about earlier with how expensive it is for patients, a lot of times they don't have a high disposable income, and a lot of their money is just going into their medicine, which is why we're bringing this product to a consumer standpoint. Like we talk about helping these people, it's going to give them more money to spend elsewhere.
Okay, if they don't have a high disposable income, how do they buy your unit?
Well, like I said, now they're spending $70 a week and up to $3,200 a year. Our system's going to be priced probably around 5% profit margin, and we expect to get the profit margin from like the nutrients, the lighting, stuff like that. It's like getting your cannabis for basically like $30 a month after you buy our system.
So you're evading the question. What's the cost of the system?
Right now, we currently do not know that. Just due to we're in the prototyping and manufacturing stage, we've been testing with, what's that? We've been testing with like sensors, certain sensors, stuff like that. I'm trying to figure out which works best. We're still experimenting.
Yeah, we're expecting it to be somewhere around like $1,000 to $1,200.
It's made out of?
It's made out of, it'll be
Is it composite?
Aluminum. Yeah, composite. It'll be aluminum probably for the frame. And then we have just a bunch of different sensors and the microcontroller that would be in there.
So you think you can build that for how much?
We think we'll be able to build it for about $500, $400.
Walk us through the recurring revenue stream. How much on average per customer, and what are you selling?
Okay, so take into consideration, you use about a quart of nutrients for one plant. So every 3 months, you're gonna produce X amount of your medicine. The nutrients, you'll need one nutrient cube for the first month, one for the second, and one for the third. What companies are doing now, which is why a lot of companies don't occupy a lot of the market share, is no one is offering a complete set where it's like you're taking from like phosphorus, potassium, nitrogen, iron, and you're adding these like every week. Instead, we want to work with a nutrient company that's going to be able to give us one for the first stage, the second stage, and the third stage.
So how much is the average customer paying you per month for all this stuff?
Like I said, around 30 to 50. It's still
30 to 50, and your cost of goods on the 30 to 50 is what?
It's still up in the air as far as acquiring some of that stuff. The cost of goods, it's gonna be cheap, especially for the sensors, like 2-block stuff like that. Just experimenting with like the ones we want, like I said. Getting a microcontroller. We're using Arduino Yun right now with the sensors. Eventually, it will be a mass-produced microcontroller.
I think I understand your focus on the California market, if that's what you said. What would concern me about that is you probably could not think of a more competitive market, a more mature market for something like this. There's plenty of money out there financing things of this nature for this market. So give me some rationale as to why you're focusing on
We just chose that because there's the most patients there. We've considered, just because Washington, D.C. is so close to us, might be a better alternative for us. There's also markets that are growing. More and more states are going to be moving towards that. We want to be centered around, helping PA, especially with this industry. But right now, it's currently not here, but it's going to get here. So.
How do you anticipate the popularity of vaping competing with the plant product?
Yeah, so most people are doing it in forms of edible use now. There is an increase in vape to a certain extent, but still 60% is smokable and around 40% still edible for the medical and recreational industry. I know they switched to the vape, but I'm not sure off the top of my head the statistics, but I know for a fact that more people are doing the edible and the smoking right now for sure.
For a lot of people when they do vaporize too, they are using just regular plant matter. So it would be
what we'd be growing, essentially. They don't have to do anything extra for them to vape it.
Thanks very much.
Thanks. But I don't think they have a handle on what it's really going to cost to build that unit.
The toughest question would be the one regarding the cost for people, usually people with patients with lower income that may not be able to afford a system right away. So we have to pretty much come up with a way to answer that question.
I think they missed the marketing angle of legitimizing growing marijuana at home.
Right.
If you have a unit that looks polished and professional, it just
It's like
makes
the
that
nice wine rack in your basement.
Right, exactly. That's actually exactly how they should sell it. Yes. It's the new wine rack.
Yeah, it's the new wine rack.
Our fifth team is from Bucknell.
Hi, my name is Trey.
My name is Kenny, and we attend Bucknell University.
I decided to pursue this venture because I feel like a great idea shouldn't be wasted. So the product is a rug airbed. It's a rug that can be flipped, and you can inflate the air mattress attached to the back of the rug. We call it Flip Inflate.
Our product stands alone because it does not take up any space when you're not using it to sleep on, unlike a futon or a traditional inflatable mattress. It's a very widely usable product.
What drives me personally is I always wanted to be my own boss, and I feel like this is an opportunity, especially in college, to start my own thing and be my own boss and my own person.
I've always wanted to leave a mark on society or the community that I'm living in and have it be a positive one, as well as make my friends and family proud. If we were awarded the money, we would use it to expand our company. We would increase the inventory that we would have in our fulfillment centers, which would allow us to run a beta stage. Potential investors and distribution companies would hopefully see the success of this beta stage and either invest in our company or carry the product on their shelves.
Hi, I'm Trey Johnson.
And I'm Kenny Griffin.
And we present Flip Inflate.
All around the world, people experience a shortage of disposable income and a lack of space in their homes or living areas. These two situations combine to make providing places to sleep for visitors a huge problem for many people. Traditional solutions to this problem include futons, airbeds, or sleeping bags. Unfortunately, these products are expensive, immobile, and take up a great deal of space when they're not being used. Our product is the Flip Inflate. The Flip Inflate is the first ever synthetic rug that you can flip over and inflate to sleep on, like an inflatable mattress. Because our product functions as a rug when you're not sleeping on it, it takes up virtually no space in a living room. As you can see in the photo behind me, the Flip Inflate fits comfortably into a standard-sized dorm room where another product would have taken up too much space to be stored.
Here's the Flip Inflate. It's a 4 and a 6.5 area rug, perfect for any dorm room. The plush rug is our rug material, and let's just show you how the Flip Inflate works. So first, you flip it over, and using a pump, you inflate it. 45 seconds later, you have a fully inflated twin airbed. Our airbed inflates to the height of 6 inches. This is different than the typical 9 to 10 inches. The reason why our bed inflates to 6 inches is so when it's fully deflated and underneath the rug, there's virtually no lumpiness when you walk on it, so it doesn't take away from the rug's capabilities. Now, some of you may question, how comfortable and how durable can a 6-inch airbed be? Well, we have the answer. Coming to join us is Abdullah Anderson. Abdullah Anderson is 6'4", 300 pounds. Abdullah, please show our judges and our audience how comfortable and how durable the Flip Inflate is. Go straight into it.
As you can see, a 6'4", 300-pound person can fit comfortably onto our product. Today, we are asking for an investment of $15,000. This investment would help us become a name brand and a product that's widely used and recognized across the country. The primary market segment that we are trying to create value for are college students. However, this product creates value for anybody who sleeps. Thank you for your time. We will now be taking questions.
Thank you. That's very clever, by the way. I like that. You can get it. Well, I suppose you could stay there, yes.
Hey, I feel comfortable right here, so.
So I'm not quite sure. Let's start with the rug. So I'm not quite sure what college students prefer nowadays. So have you done any market research on the type of rug? Is that a rug that a student would buy?
Yes, we find it very popular that the plush shaggy rug is a very popular rug used in most dorm rooms, just because it's very comfortable and people like to lay on it or put their feet in it. It just makes your room very cozy and comfortable, so yes.
And rugs that are sold at stores like Bed Bath & Beyond that are targeted towards college students are similar in size and quality.
So what's proprietary about it? What's to prevent your manufacturer from making this for 100 other companies?
Right now, they have signed a non-circumvention and non-disclosure agreement. And also, we have filed Flip and Flate as an invention with the patent office.
What's the invention?
Rug airbed.
So let me ask you a question. I noticed when you're playing with that a little bit, what holds the rug and the air mattress to each other?
So the rug and airbed are connected through Velcro patches.
Okay, so you're using Velcro?
Yes.
Okay, because my next question is going to be how are you going to clean the rug? Because
the rug is machine washable.
Take it
so
off.
So you can just take it off and throw it right into your
Very good.
washer.
So what would keep an enterprising young college student not to go buy just an air mattress rug, throw it down and go do it?
Well, if you were to buy a rug of the same quality and an air mattress of similar quality, it would run you more than $80, which is going to be our price that we will be intending on selling these products.
So you think
for.
you got the price point in the market that's an inflection point for you? Good. Okay.
You mentioned Walmart and some other Bed Bath & Beyond, some other retailers. Have you approached any of those retailers to see how interested they are?
We have not approached those retailers yet. We would like to have a successful beta stage that we would run and be able to approach those companies with so they can be confident in putting our product on their shelves.
It's interesting that you chose to flip it, because if the rug is very comfortable and people are laying on it anyway, and if you're already having a storage issue in dorm rooms, would you really store extra bedding?
It would be difficult to store extra bedding in a dorm room just because of the lack of space that people experience. You really need to utilize every piece of space that you can. Products today that sell at stores like Bed Bath & Beyond and Target and Walmart, containers that save a great deal of space and allow students to put books, foods, snacks, and other things that utilize the space of a dorm room in the best way possible. And our product does the same thing.
Have you given any thought to changing the rug out, maybe target the college market with their logoed carpet or something like that?
Yeah, definitely. We've did some research on that, and we know it can become very costly to do such a thing, but that's definitely a market that we would like to go into.
Thanks, Kenny and Trey. Thanks very much.
Nice
Thank
job.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Abdullah.
You might want to shake.
Great job.
That was a great idea, bringing him up.
I know. I can't imagine it's protectable. I mean, there's no way to get a patent.
The judges asked some really good questions. They were very thought-provoking, and they were questions that we had not been asked before. So it was great to have their perspective, and it was nice to answer them as well. And I think we had some good answers for them, which they appreciated.
I can't get past the shed carpet. That's where I think my point is.
But all, like,
The idea is good.
Everybody's got the carpet like that now. Like, I would get one for my son's room.
Our final team is from Penn State.
Hi, my name is Mary Elizabeth McCulloch, and I am studying biomedical engineering at Penn State. I was a foreign exchange student to Ecuador before I started college here at Penn State. I volunteered in a special needs orphanage where I worked with about 15 kids with nonverbal cerebral palsy, and they had absolutely no assistive technology available to them, and really this idea came out of that experience. Seeing kids that are smart, sitting down with them for 2 hours, asking them yes or no questions, and basically taking their facial expressions and using either a positive response or a negative response to see what they want to do, what they would like, and realize that these kids, they're spending their whole lives unable to introduce anything into a sentence that somebody else hasn't guessed for them. And that's something that so many people who can talk and feel understood, when they don't even realize how life would be if that was taken away from them. And I just realized that this whole project can be so life-changing.
Right now, we have absolutely no income because we're still in the developing process. So this is really going to pay for the parts and pay for personnel to work on this, and also pay for other subcontractors to come in, professionals. You know, get a real speech pathologist in here, get somebody that's worked with special needs kids for their whole lives, and get their input. And you need money to do that. Imagine yourself fully aware but unable to talk to your friends and family who are surrounding you. I'd like to talk to you today about conditions that do just that, rob people of their ability to talk. Hi, I'm Mary Elizabeth McCulloch, and I spent a year in Ecuador working with children and adults with nonverbal cerebral palsy. Devices that are available in the market today are eye tracking devices, which can be very expensive and hard to maintain. And both of these things make it completely inaccessible to millions of people that need devices, because in this market today, 3.4 million have the form of cerebral palsy that results in the inability to speak. And this isn't including ALS, Rett syndrome, or multiple sclerosis, which also can rob a person of their ability to talk. So these devices, they're high to maintain and expensive. And even if you have insurance, it may take up to months for you to get the approvals to get a device in your hand. So through our solution, I have assembled a team of programmers and engineers with support from speech pathologists and institutional support through Penn State and United Cerebral Palsy Life Labs to create an assistive speech device that is affordable, and that I'm wearing right now. So this device is made of 3 components. One is a sensor that acts through a clicker that you click through sentences that you hear through an earpiece, which is the second component. And through these 2 components, they communicate with a microprocessor and speaker that are used to construct sentences. And right now, I'm going to use this device to construct a sentence by clicking through words through my sensor.
Hello, I'm Project Vive, and I'd like to give a voice to today's voiceless.
And this isn't just for a hand. What we're doing is we're creating many sensors that can be put on any joint that the user can control of, toe sensors, head nods. So what we're doing today is we're asking for $18,000. And this is going to be used for institutional review board approvals, and so we can launch into field testing to get beta testing, get feedback, and create this into a sustainable product. Simultaneously, we'll be building our team to include more professionals in the field and also create our manufacturing infrastructure right here in central Pennsylvania, which we've already started doing. And through this and other nonprofit organizations, we will be educating speech pathologists on our new technology that's affordable. And we really hope you would join us and Project Vive on giving a voice to the voiceless. Thank you.
Thanks, Mary Elizabeth. Very good.
So how customizable is this product? As you were listening to words in your ear, were those words that you had programmed as your most frequently used words, or is that something you selected from normal speech?
Yeah, so it is customizable on so many levels. One of it is the actual speech algorithm, which we have an editor, which the actual user can go in and take phrases out or put phrases in. If they like talking about something and they want more detailed vocabulary, they can definitely do that. But also customizable in the sensors. So if somebody has good control of their finger or their toe, so that's another way that we can also customize it and to their movements. You actually go through a calibration where if somebody has a large movement or a small movement, we can calibrate it to read only those devices. So someone with a tremor, we can say ignore all these tiny movements and only do large ones. So there's a lot of ways that it's customizable.
And how expensive are the initial units?
So right now we're going for $500 in the US, and I just came back from the American Speech and Hearing Association where eye tracking devices and touchpads are going for $16,000 right now.
And what do you think it'll cost you to make at volume?
Right now we're creating them for about $150.
And do you envision this being regulated as a medical device or a consumer product?
No, it is not FDA approval, and we've had a lot of third entities tell us that because it's non-invasive and it's not just for in hospitals, it's actually a language assist device.
So how hard is it going to be to get across different languages?
Yeah, so that's what's really cool about this is it's actually just an SD card that has all of the English in it, and we're going to do voice banking, so we'll have it in multiple languages, which can be the same device, just a different SD card. And the same thing can go through certain types of languages versus vocabulary of an 8-year-old or a 16-year-old are completely different, but all it is an SD card switch.
This is a fantastic way to use your passion and your knowledge, so congratulations. Can you tell us a bit more about the other products that are out there? You mentioned some touch devices and
Definitely.
things of that nature.
So one of them, which is a lower cost option, would be a $6,000 touchscreen, kind of similar to your iPad. Now, things like this, it actually does require motor control to be able to click the icons. So what's so cool about this is that you don't have to be looking at a screen and have hand-eye coordination to select something. With a lot of kids have trouble with cerebral palsy. You can actually be looking anywhere and use the movements that you can do. Eye tracking is the other option, which follows your eye gaze to select things from a screen. And that's something that is $16,000, and like everybody has it for $16,000 because they can't make it anymore because insurance companies won't pay for it. And the other thing about Project Vive is we're completely wearable technology versus having these screens in front of your face. So you can actually look at the person you're talking to and not have to have a caregiver put this screen in front of you to talk. You can actually just wear it all day.
So you talked about ALS as a possible use for this. As the disease progresses, you get a different reaction. So do you have to constantly recalibrate?
With ALS, you're right that you would have to recalibrate it, and that's something that you can definitely do if your movement gets smaller, if you get more tremors. We can do that in the calibration. But what is another reason why this is awesome for ALS is that ALS degenerates so quickly, and like I said, to get approval to buy such expensive devices can take months. And by the time that you get the device, your condition might have degenerated.
I agree with you with that, but the calibration, is it a process the user's going to be able to do?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You can calibrate it every time you use it, or you just skip through it to your last calibration setting.
That answers my
It's super
question.
simple. The user does it completely. It doesn't involve anybody else.
Give us 2 key deliverables that we get for the 18K.
You get real people using it, and you also get professionals onto our team to give us the feedback to make this device with the users the best and the most robust device possible that we can make.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Important work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice job.
Thanks.
I have a friend who was just diagnosed with ALS, and his biggest fear is losing his ability to communicate. That's why I went to the ALS portion. I wanted to make sure she knew what she was talking about.
She does.
Yeah, she does.
I really hope I get this funding because regardless, we're going to launch into what we're going to do. It's just going to either be a little bit harder or a little bit easier, and this would definitely catalyze that process.
And she clearly is enthusiastic and seems to know what she's talking about.
Yeah, very impressive.
Probably the best presentation, actually.
Yeah.
He's hands down.
Enthusiasm, yeah.
The teams have made their pitches, the judges have asked their questions. Now it's time for them to deliberate and decide which teams have done enough to earn the funds to make their idea a reality.
Assuming that it can be protected, I think there's also an opportunity to license this technology too.
Motorcycle safety is something that you can't not think about. The problem I had with it, though, is when you really look at how many states have mandatory helmet laws, there's only 17.
Right.
$20,000. I think that's a lot of money for the concept at this stage.
He is addressing an important problem.
Is it actually effective at diagnosing whether or not someone's having a delay in reflex because of concussion?
In order for it to be successful, it has to work better than what they do today. Otherwise, what's the value proposition? To get people to change their current habits, which are quite ingrained, particularly in medicine.
As a corporation, why do you need 15K? And I think that's the hard thing here.
Yes, I agree.
Because I think there's other companies that we should be funding here as well.
The goal of this exercise in large part is to create jobs in Pennsylvania. And if you had to pick anybody among this crop of entrepreneurs
These guys.
who's going to create jobs, it's these guys. They're printing these T-shirts in Mifflinburg, right?
Yeah, you're right. I think that if they could have had a working prototype, or at least a mock-up, they were the only ones that came in without a demonstration model. They were the only ones.
They're also the only ones that came in without giving us any real information.
I was only disappointed in most of the answers to the questions that many of us had. I think they had a nice rendering of their product. They understood what they would sell, what their product was, and who their market was.
I like the 2 guys, and I like entrepreneurial thought in terms of students, and they, I think, clearly had that.
I like the fact that you take the carpet off.
It does look like something you would buy at Bed Bath & Beyond.
Yeah.
The The thing that I just really struggle to get past on this, though, is that it will be, if it's at all successful, it will be knocked off in a second. In a second, you know. So it's just not, it's not protectable. And back to the PA jobs issue, not at all clear to me this creates any Pennsylvania jobs. I like this young lady.
Yeah, so do I.
Does it need to be that number? I don't know. I didn't get a good sense of what does 18,000 represent.
I don't think we need to give them.
Well, she didn't do a good job answering that either.
Yeah, it was a little vague. We want a clear list of deliverables.
Taking into account the cost of keeping that software alive, and that's going to be costly over time. I would like to see her target a little broader market than just the one she was in. I think she gave us a very narrow window of her market.
The judges have deliberated. The decisions are made. Now the teams will find out who will receive the money to fund their idea.
So at this point, we have the pleasure of giving you awards. It is so encouraging for us to see such a high level of desire for entrepreneurial activity and combined with capability. And you're here for a very good reason. You went through a difficult process. So thanks to all of you. Difficult decision for us. We are awarding Uscape $7.5 thousand. And we are awarding BrakeSafe also $7.5 thousand. And Project Vive, we are awarding you $15,000. So again, thank you very much, and best wishes to you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The decision was not that easy, actually. There were 6 really well thought out ideas.
There wasn't a company that we didn't like the idea of. It was just that we had to look at feasibility, impact for Pennsylvania, and whether or not the resources we could provide would be able to get them to where they needed to be.
They took this so seriously, and they really came in incredibly well prepared.
And I think what we saw here are companies that all had viability and all had impact.
Starting up companies is hard work, and you know, you need passion to carry you through.
This gives me great hope, actually, in terms of what we're going to see out of these students.
The entrepreneurial spirit here in Pennsylvania is alive and well.
The competition was heated. The judges were tough, but 3 of our teams managed to win them over. Congratulations to the winning teams. They leave with the money to jumpstart their fledgling companies. For the other teams, it's time to reposition for the next pitch. Thank you for joining us for The Investment.
The investment is made possible with support from Everett Cash Mutual Insurance Company, a committed insurance company serving the agricultural community for over 100 years. NPC, Integrated Print and Digital Solutions, creating career opportunities and supporting the community in central Pennsylvania since 1954. Penn State Executive Programs, partnering with multinational corporations, government, and nonprofit organizations to develop leaders and shape strategies for business results. Information at smeal.psu.edu. The Chamber of Business and Industry of Center County, CBICC, working collectively and collaboratively with public and private sector investors to create and grow entrepreneurship and enhance the local economy. And from viewers like you, thank you.